you would notice that I talk about these daily budgets. Yeah. So currently now what you can do is the minimum is 1.6. Before it used to be 1,000, but because things have gone up, prices have gone up now. So now it is 1,600 naira. So another thing I do is that I set my start date. Usually, I start my ad around 6 because I believe people just woke up and they'll be doing a lot of personal things. And then after that, they would most likely want to, you know, let's say around 7, 8, yes, they would want to set out. And as at that time, people can start checking their IG or whatever or their WhatsApp. Now, the thing is, when you set your ad to start by 6 a.m., oftentimes the ad will not start running by that time. It will still take a while, maybe up to 45 minutes or 1 hour before you start getting clicks on that ad. So that's just the way I run ads. So then the next thing is I set an end date. The end date I set is usually 30 days. I set my ad to run for 30 days. Even though I want to run it for a week, I'm going to set it to 30 days. Because if I set the end date as a week, I won't be able to change it later. But if I set it as 30 days, I can easily stop it, I can easily start it, right? And so that's the way I set up my ad. All right, so let's move to the next thing. So there are various ways of doing it, but this is the Layorian method of setting up Facebook ads. So on this page, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to skip, just keep scrolling down. All right, here we have audience control. This is where you set your audience, the location, the age, and things like that. Now on this page, I want you to note something right here. You can see we have location, we have the age, and then we have this advantage audience. When I run ads, I don't use anything advantage, anything optimization. I don't use them. I set everything on manual. So just scroll down. You scroll down, you can see this audience suggestion. Just scroll down, you probably see something manual. Okay, so right here you can see what we have switch to original audience. You can see it down here, switch to original audience. So that's what you are going to click on, switch to original audience. All right, can you see? So after clicking on that, you are going to get this, and then you select original audience right here. Select original audience. So let's proceed. Now you can see that this age has changed. Now we have 18 to 65 showing here, then we have this location, and then we have all genders. This is how I set up my ad using what is called broad targeting. Broad targeting means that I only set my location, my age, and my gender. I don't set any interest. So like I said in my previous videos, the way we run ads is that 70% of the work we do is in the background. So how am I able to run ads without setting interest? It simply means that I have done a lot of work on the content. So that is why I advise, if you are watching this video, try as much as possible to get in touch with me, and make sure you get on the group, because to make this process work effectively, you need to combine it with the Layorian's ad templates. Okay, so let's just proceed. Now what happened here is that I have actually clicked on this location. I have clicked on location right here. I have clicked on location, and then there's an X that showed in front of this Nigeria right here. you click on it to remove Nigeria. Don't target the whole Nigeria, target states. The more specific your ad is, the higher its chances of performing. So right here I have this, you can see. So this is just a draft. I selected two eastern parts, two southern part, and two northern part. So depending on the product you want to market, that is what will influence your location. Let's say someone that is selling a physical product, right? If you are selling a physical product, you don't want to target locations where it won't be easy for you to deliver. You want to target locations that are close to you. Let's say for someone selling affiliate marketing course and things like that, it means that they can actually target anywhere where they can probably get an audience. So those are the things that needs to be considered when creating your ads. All right, we are going to proceed to the next one here. Now there's this aspect where you can exclude states. You can see this include. You can see add exclusions, add exclusions. Can you see? So you can actually click on add exclusions. So let's say you want to target some specific locations and you don't want your ad to show in some locations at all. In that case, you can add exclusion. So next is the age. Depending on your product, that is what you use to determine the age you set. So if you are selling something, say depending on the price, that is what you just use to determine the starting age and the highest age you want your ad to be shown to. If people of 18 years old can afford your product or service, of course you can target them. But if you know they can't afford it, maybe 23 upward, you target from 23 upward. If your product or service has nothing to do with a 50-year-old man, you don't need to set your age range to 50 years old. So you can see that your product or service is the one that determines a lot of things that you do, because you are doing these things for your buyers. So you need to consider them and put them first. All right, next is we have gender. If your product is gender based, of course you have to target a specific gender, and there are times whereby you want to test out the ad content or ad creative that is working well. So instead of you to run one ad to both male and female gender, you can actually run one ad specifically for male gender and then another ad specifically for female genders. Now when you come to this all languages down here, you click on it and then make sure you select all languages here. Make sure you select English all. So you select English all. Can you see? Just as it is right here. Just as you have it here, English all. So next is you want to be paying attention to the number of estimated audience here. When you are using the Layorian ads method, make sure that your estimated audience size falls within at least 11 million to 15 million thereabouts. Try to make sure that when you select your location and when you select your age range, try as much as possible to make sure that your estimated audience is up to at least 11 million for a start, and then you can get up to 15 or any other thing. Now, what is the importance of this? If you are running ads using this strategy and you are not giving Facebook that room to show your ads to a lot of people, they are going to be charging you more. Facebook is going to be charging you more for that. So in order to reduce your CPC, one of the things you can do is to make sure that you are targeting nothing less than 11 million people. So that's that about that. The next thing we want to do is that you come to placement right here, and then you click on manual placement. You click on manual placement there. Now this is where you select where your ads, where you want your ads to show. Is it on Facebook? Is it on Instagram? Is it on Audience Network? Is it on Messenger? Now I usually don't select Audience Network and Messenger, but while I was setting up the last ad I'm running, I was unable to turn off Messenger because it was turning off something in the placement. So like running ads on that side now simply means people will just be skipping it. And if they are skipping it, Audience Network is like, running ads for people that use all these, is it 2G phones or something like that. So they have no business with your ad. They have no business with your ad. So something like this to this Messenger, most of those, they have no business with your ads. So when I'm running ads and I'm using just flyer, not a video, I often make sure that I only select news feed. Even stories and reels, I try as much as possible to stay away from them because the competition will be high there. Imagine looking at a flyer. Of course, there are times where the flyers are so engaging. So depending on how engaging the flyer is, this is why I said a lot of things are considered while we are doing the background work for our ads. So in this video, I'm just going to teach you how to set up your ads using the Layorian ads method. If you'd like to go into details of the what and why, how do we make our decisions, why do we what makes us to actually say, oh, this is good enough, this is not good enough. Like I used to tell my students, don't just use a fine design, make sure that you are using an effective design. And of course, we have a definition of what we mean by effective design. So all of these things are things you would learn in the class once you gain access to the Layorian Facebook ads template. You'll be added to a group where you understand all of these things. So like I said earlier, turn off Audience Network, turn off your Messenger if it works. I can you see right here now? I was able to turn off the Audience Network, but as I was turning off the Messenger, it was also showing a minus sign on the feed. So I would have turned off the Messenger, and then you can see that this estimated size here is less than 11 million. So like I said, this is just an explainer video. When I run my ads, I make sure that this is not less than 11. This can be anything 15 or 20, but this one is the major one. It shouldn't be less than 11 million. Now that this is what I have tried that has worked for me. I noticed that on occasions where it didn't meet that where that criteria was not met, my CPC was high and it kept on increasing. So that's that about that. Let's move to the next thing. Alright, you can see this in-stream videos. In-stream videos simply means that someone can be watching a video and then your ad pops up. If you are using a reel, yes, you can use something like this. But oftentimes when I'm using flyers, like I said, I don't want to place them where videos are. I don't want to place them where videos are. Someone is watching something very, very interesting, even though the person has interest in your product, but because your ad came as an interruption at that time, the person may just likely skip it. Now this doesn't mean that such strategy doesn't work. If you would apply that strategy, you need to make sure that the video you are using is very, very engaging. So these are things that you need to consider. Like I said, we do a lot of work in the background. So the way we run ads using the templates, you are going to feel confident about your ads. Once you gain exposure to our templates, and before you run ads, you are going to feel very confident about your ads and how well it will perform. Alright, so we've talked about all of these. Okay, now we have the ads part. In our next video, I'll be talking about how we can actually set up our ads. We select the page, we select the creative we want to use, and things like that. Make sure you watch the next video.